So, a very warm welcome. I'm going to answer a question that a friend of mine once asked me, and then many people have always asked me on my channels, asking me whether leaders are born or leaders are made. And to me, this is my idea. I believe that leaders are made, they become. And it's out of circumstances, out of opportunity that they harden and become who they are. So I'll use to discuss this and explain it fully. I'll use the book of John C. Maxwell. It's Developing the Leader Within, because leadership starts within. And this book is one of his exclusive leadership books that have moved me from one level to another. And I'm sure you watching now, you'll be able to also move the journey that I've taken. So John C. Maxwell, in this book, he says leadership is not a position, but it's a journey. It is a process that you take. And in this journey, in this process, all you need is people. And how do people come to you? Influence. And he goes further to allude to it and says leadership is influence. Nothing big, nothing small, nothing much. So he affirms it by a quote. He says that he who thinketh leadeth without a person or people following, he's just taking a walk. So you will realize that to him, he believes that leadership is influence, nothing much, nothing less. So how do you become a leader? And in this book, he gives 5 steps or 5 levels of becoming a leader. But before we jump into the levels, I want to, you watching here, ask yourself, what and where should I start from? Because there's always a starting point. Now, for you to move, Winston Churchill said a great man is determined by the questions he asks. So the greater the questions, the greater the answers or the response. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, where am I as a leader? Where do you stand? You need to know where you stand at the moment before you make another step. The second question you need to know is, how do I get to the next level? Do you even know the levels? And it's the 5 levels we are going to discuss today. And this comes with awareness of self, awareness of the levels that you are going to undertake so that you can become that you want to become. The third question you need to ask yourself is, what is my main aim in life? What is my purpose? What is my reason? What is my why? Because it's out of your why, out of your purpose, that you're able to move, focus, and you're able to attain that. Because you cannot attain something you do not know or something you cannot see. So after knowing and seeing, that means you're able to make those baby steps and go and find them. So let's go into the levels. The first level John C. Maxwell talks about is the position as the first level. And in this level, it's when you are given the authority, you are given the mandate, you are given the office to lead other people. It is the first stage. And because it is the first stage, you that has been given the opportunity, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what kind of leader do I want to become? And once you know the kind of leader you want to become, because it's the first position, you build on it each and every day. And since now you're given the position, people do not follow you. They don't trust you. They don't know you. But because you're given that position, they tend to. So you're more or less like a manager. So how can you move from the first level, which is the position level, to the second level, which is the permission level? 1, you need to help people, bring the best out of them, as Henry Ford said. The second, you need to you need to create that trust and earn their trust from them to believe you. Now, once you earn their trust, once you help them and bring the best, it will push you to the second level, which is the permission level. Permission level is more or less of the relationship level. Now, in this level, it is when now the people you are in charge of have appreciated your abilities, believe they trust you, and believe in you, that they tend to follow you. Now, once they trust, believe, and know your abilities, now what happens? You as a leader there, you need to keep moving. Remember, it is a journey. So how do you move from that level, the permission level, to the third level, which is the production level? All you need to do, you need to focus on the people you are in charge of rather than focusing on the task, because the task is solved by people that you're in charge of. The second, you need to treat them the way you'd want them to treat onto you. This is a biblical principle. Do unto others that you want them to do unto you. Now, once you do unto them right, they are going to do unto you right. And together, you'll move to another level. The other, you need to praise and encourage. This is my quote, Herbert's quote. Motivation, encouragement is the fuel that keeps the engine of a car ignited when its tires are deflated. And we as human beings, we all need that motivation. We need that encouragement. And you as a leader, you need to do that. Encourage, motivate, and keep them ignited even when there are obstacles, even when there are challenges. With that, they're able to trust you. They're able to believe in you. The other, you need to take them on a journey. You need to be part of the wagon, the moving wagon. You don't just delegate and put them on the wagon and you stay behind. No, you need to be part. Actually, you need to lead them into the journey. Once you lead them, you motivate them, and you give them the trust, they'll be able to push you to that third level, which is the production level. Now, production level is the result-oriented. It's result-based. The people that have given you a position, all the people that you're working with, all they're looking at are results. No matter how you do it, what they need is results. Now, as a leader, without losing focus of who you want to become, without losing focus of people, because remember, it's the people that take you to another level. How can you provide? Now, you need to have or to create change. You know, many of us fear change, but we want new things. And yet new things come as a result of change. Now, once you change the people you are in, you equip them, they'll be able to believe in you. They'll be able to trust you. And this will bring great results. But as you're in the production level, how can you move? Because it's the third level. How can you move to the fourth level, which is the people development level? At the production level, one, you need to know your strength and your weaknesses. Personal inventory of yourself, or SWOT analysis on yourself. Then the second, you need to have an effective communication skill. How do you communicate? How do you articulate that vision, that dream, that task to the people that you're in charge of? Because it's out of the communication that people will be knowing where they're heading to, and will be able to believe and trust in you. The third is teamwork. You need to create team. John C. Maxwell once said that team works. Team works. It works. Yes, it works. Why? Because a strength of a team is each individual member's strength. And each individual member's strength is the strength of the whole team. So you need to create a team, but looking at each individual's strength, categorizing and prioritizing them according to their strength, that together you're able to perform. And once you get this right, that means it's pushing you to the fourth level, which is the people development. And people development level is that you'll be making people become like you. It is like a mirror. You're creating more you. And how do you create more you? Now you need to mentor them. You need to coach them. You need to train them. You need to educate them. And once you do that, that means you're reflecting yourself in the people you are in charge with. Now, the same is what you're supposed to do that will push you to the fifth level, which is the personhood level, the epic. It's the epic of the leadership that only 1% of leaders make it to there. So, in the fourth level, in the people development, how do you move to the personhood level? One, you need to teach. You need to practice what you say. You need to mentor. You need to coach. And you need to reward. Once you have this right, that means people, you've made more of yourself in that organization. That means you're able to keep space above, which will push you to the fifth level, which is the personhood level. Now, the personhood level, it's the epic, it's the supreme. Only 1% of leaders make it there. And remember our definition of leadership. Leadership is not the position. Leadership is the leader who creates the position. And how do you create the position? You need to have people that suit the position that is above. Legacy. And how do you do this? You develop people to the personal development level. Remember, that is the fourth level. Now, once you make people to the fourth level, that means you're creating the positions for them above so that they can be able to run when you're away, which is more or less termed as legacy. And among the people that have made it to this level, John C. Maxwell talks about Martin Luther King. He talks about the late Steve Jobs. These are people that have made it to the personhood level. You know, they've created a legacy. They've developed people on a personal level and become who they intend to become. Now, you may ask me, all right, we have gotten all this. We have gotten the essence of leadership. We know what leadership is. How do we get to those levels? Because it's not out of abstract. How do you get the position in the first place? Now, I'm going to give you 5 or 4 character traits that you can use that John C. Maxwell talked in his book, Developing the Leader Within. And the first is integrity. Integrity is the foundation of leadership. I'll borrow from scripture. The biggest confession in the Bible is that God is one. He's good today, tomorrow, and forever. He never changes. So your oneness is integrity. You mean what you say and say what you mean. It is what happens in the dark that determines who you are. You know, it is you becoming a human before being. That's what we call integrity. That's how it is actually who you are. And people will follow you because of what you believe in, who you are. Now, once you know who you are and mean what you say and say what you mean, and you're in oneness with yourself, people reflect that leadership spirit in you, and they will be able to give you the position. The second is attitude. Attitude is more or less of a mindset. We know the lion, it's not the fastest, it's not the tallest, it's not the bravest, it's not the biggest, it's not the heaviest, but what does it do? It runs things. It is the king of the jungle. And when it looks at these animals, it looks at them as large. And when these animals look at the lion, they run. Why? Because of its mindset. And you can develop that mindset, the leadership mindset within you. Because it's out of that mindset that you become. And 10% of us in life, 10% of us is how we respond to circumstances. And the 90% is how we react. I'll borrow the words of Viktor Frankl in his famous book, Man's Search for Meaning. He said that there's a big difference between response and stimuli. But in your response lies the power, not to change circumstances, but to change who you are. So once you change who you are, definitely you're changing the circumstances. And this is what we talk about as attitude, which we talk about as your mindset. Once you change your mindset, you're changing what is happening around you. And in changing your mindset, you need to reframe your attitude. And reframing your attitude is you're changing your thinking, you're changing your perspective, you're changing at how you look at things. And once you do that, that means you're going to change your perspective and change your being. The second is re-enter. Re-entering is being what you presume to become. That presumption, I want to become a leader. Now you start acting like a leader, like it has already happened. And this helps to change your attitude. The third is vision. And what is vision? Vision is a glimpse of the future in technical color, and bring it and work upon it now, in the present. And we talked about the qualities. You need to know how to articulate, communicate that vision to the people you are in charge with. Because it's out of that vision that people will tend to follow you. And vision has your why. As Simon Sinek puts it in his book, Start With Why. Your belief. What do you believe in? And when you sum up this, that means it's going to give you a glimpse on that person who's hearing your communication about the future. They have that glimpse and they believe that that's what they desire and move and follow you. The fifth is priorities. Priorities is what do you put up front. I was reading this book of the 4 disciplines of execution, and it talks about priorities in a very easy way. It talks about efficiency and effectiveness, and these two differentiate leaders. And leaders do effective things. They aim at effectiveness. And how do you do that? You need to prioritize. We all know of the Pareto principle, the 80-20. 20 of your efforts leads to 80 of your results. Prioritizing. And when you go to the book of Steve Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about differentiating between urgent and important. And as a leader, you need to differentiate what is urgent, what is important. You need to know, what am I supposed to do? The small things, the 20 things that will contribute to the 80% of the things. Then you need to differentiate between effectiveness and efficiency. And once you get that, then you're up to go. The fifth is problem-solving skills. You need to, the problems arise from the perspective. The Chinese do not see problems as problems. They look at problems as opportunities to jump on and grasp, which is the mindset. So as a leader as well, you need to have that, look at the challenges that come your way, but don't look at them as challenges, but look at them as opportunities. And he used a story of an eagle. An eagle, the biggest obstacle it faces when it's flying is air or the wind. And the wind or the air, it's the same thing that it needs for it to fly high. So it is one thing, but used in different ways. It's the challenge, it's an obstacle, and at the same time as opportunity for it. So we as leaders still, we need to look at opportunities or look at challenges as opportunities. And once we change that mindset, once we have the problem-solving skills, and as a leader, often in time, it's not that you're supposed to know the answer. No. You're supposed to know where to find the answer. Through the people, the team that you've organized, the people you're in charge, and you delegate, you ask them. And when you do that, they believe, trust, and know you can go to another level. And most companies normally we need to start decisions from above to down. But the effective one is bottom up. Go down. Talk to the people. Tell them. Share your vision as it moves up. That's when they will believe in you. They will trust you. And they will know that it is really worth it. And most problems, it's not the size of the problem. It is the size of the people that you have in charge that can help you solve that problem. So, to conclude, this book was so amazing. I've reread it several times, and every time I read it, I get a new insight about it. So I would urge people not to just read it, because knowledge is useless, but it's the applicability of that knowledge that makes you who you are. And it's the same principle that carries with the truth. It is true because it has helped me. I have moved from one stage to another. But for you to move as well, you need to test it. And in your testing, that's when you discover that it is true. So I urge you to test it and go out and read it. And my take home for you as the stats, one, you need to get your priorities right. Get them right. Know what you want. The second, make it a priority to develop people. We do not have company problems, organization problems, but we have people problems. And once you get the people right, there is no problem. The third, you need to commit yourself to become the best of what you want to become. And once you know there are no people problems, or you develop people, you know you are committed to becoming a better leader, and you prioritize yourself right, then you'll be able to move on these levels from the positional level to the personhood level, which is the epic that 1% of the people have gone to. And once you do that, we shall see you at the top. Thank you very much. I'm sure this episode has been a blessing to you. Remember, it's Mind Lab Africa, and I'm Dr. Rwakiseta Herbert. Adios.